Okay, so we're going to import some sound. We're going to import some audio into our file. So we want to make this a fun project for children ages 3 to 5. We want to add some life to it, and we want to add some interactivity into this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import four different sounds into a jungle scene that I have here. One is going to be for the background. I think it's kind of important to add some sort of background sound. You don't want it to be overpowering that it takes over the sounds of the animals, but you still want to add a little bit of, interest to this little movie that you're doing or game or whatever it is you're doing for your project. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to import these sounds. I'm going to go File and I'm going to import them to my library. And I've already been working on these and I have these four sound waves here. I'm just going to open them up and then go right into my library. You can see them right over here. So you can import an MP3 wave, a wave WAV, an AU wave. There's all different kinds of formats that you can import into Flash. You just have to research and find out what files you can import. So I want to listen to one of my songs. I'm going to listen to this one. I can select it right here in the library and I go over to this little button and play it and stop it. It's a little fun song that I think children might like. You want to play something that's kind of like jungle light, but something that's also pretty interesting. So all I have to do is just create a layer, and I did it right here. I'm going to make sure that I am on my first keyframe. And so I select my first keyframe. I made an audio layer right here. And all I'm going to do is just drag this sound right here, right onto the stage. And you can see that it extends the whole length of the timeline. So let me hit the enter key. I can hear my sound play. So now I'm going to add sound to each one of my animals here. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with my elephant. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to make this an audio layer. And on keyframe down, because I want the sound to be on the down keyframe, I'm going to insert a keyframe. I'm going to do the same thing with my audio. I'm going to insert a keyframe. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to drag out the elephant wave right on, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to go back to my scene. I'm going to select my next one, which is going to be my giraffe. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to add a keyframe on the down because when my child goes to this file, I want the sound of the animals to sound when the child hits down on the mouse. Insert a keyframe. Do that in the audio layer too. And while I'm still in the audio layer, I'm going to drag out the giraffe sound onto my stage. I'm going to go back to the scene and I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the monkey. I'm going to click that. I'm going to go out and see the monkey. Put a new layer on, call it audio. I'm going to insert a keyframe. Do the same thing in the audio. Insert a keyframe. And I'm going to go out and bring the sound out. Okay, so let's go back to the scene. Let's hear what this sounds like. We have to do some work on this sound. We have to kind of control this sound here because it sounds like everything is just mumbling up between the background and the animals and everything. So what I have to do is I have to actually control the sound of the animal. So I have, when I click one animal, the others just keep on playing. So what I need to do is I have to go back to their timeline. Let me just go back to, let's start with the elephant. We're going to open that. I'm going to select the audio right here where it says down. I'm going to go to the properties bar. And let's just see what we have here. What is going on here? Why is it doing this? Okay. All right. Now I have event selected here. So event, maybe this isn't the correct setting. Maybe I don't want event. So sound with the event setting trigger when the playhead enters the keyframe, and then the sound plays immediately until it's done. So that's maybe is the problem. So maybe I should switch this to start. For the animal button sounds, we need to choose start. Sounds with the start setting play only if a previous version of the same sound has completed first. So maybe that's what we need to do. All we need to do is just where it says sync, just select start. I think this is going to take care of the problem. Now what if we put stop? Okay, the stop setting stops playing a specific sound. The stream setting causes the timeline to keep up with the sound. So I think we need to do start. So let's go through, go back to scene. I did the elephant. I'm going to do the giraffe. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select the sound. Go back to the properties bar. I'm going to select start. Go back to the scene. The next one I want to do is the monkey. I'm going to select the sound. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change the sync to start. And I'm going to go back out to the scene. Move this away. Now I'm not going to be able to tell if these animals are going to stop or start because I have this very loud audio layer. So just for now, I'm going to trash it. Let's just play these animals and see how they sound. Alright, I think this is working great. So we finally figured out what the problem was. We actually got this controlled. So now we don't have multiple instances of each one of these animals playing. It's just very simply just changing our sync to start. Okay, so now we have to control this background. It's very loud. So first thing we have to do is just lock all these layers, and obviously I'm going to have to bring my sound back out here again. So let me just do that. I'll put the sound back out. Again, we have to select the first layer, and I just have to drag it out. Now you notice that this is pretty loud. Let's just play this and see what it sounds like. And it keeps looping and looping and looping, and I don't like that effect. So what am I going to do? So I'm going to go to click frame 1 in the audio right here, and it goes up to right here in the properties bar. It shows my sound. I'm going to select this little eyedropper here, okay? You can see it right here. It says edit sound envelope. Aha. So here I can work and do something. Maybe I can do something with this sound. So you can change the effect by selecting the left channel or left speaker, right channel, fade into, fade out. You can do all kinds of different things. You see where it says effect? You can just open it up and it shows you all these different things that you can do to your sound. So what is it we actually want to do to this sound? Now, I think this sound is pretty long, so we might want to kind of make this a little smaller. So let's go ahead and do that. So you notice when I toggle this, if you go down here and I scroll right here, you notice that this is very long, this song. Just scroll up and down. This is 650 frames, if not more. So if I go all the way to the end, sometimes it's a little hard to grab it. But you have to just kind of grab it with your mouse and bring it all the way down to the end. I'm going to make this shorter. I'm going to bring this down to about 42 frames. That's what I had decided I was going to bring it down to. So I have to keep toggling it down. This might help with some of the problems with my sound. It's really too long. I can actually minimize this, and that might make it easier to do this. I can minimize it again. I'm just going to keep on working on it until I get it down to where I want it. It is really very, very long. Almost there. You have to make sure that, when you're working with sound, if you really want to do a lot of special effects on a sound, then you have to use a music editing program. You can do a little bit of stuff in Flash, but if you really want to do a lot of special effects, then you really can't do that in Flash, and you really have to choose an editing type program to do different effects in your file. So we're getting down there. We're almost there. You can see how long this song was, and that's part of the reason why it's just not sounding right. We're going to bring our loop all the way down about 42. We do it. You don't want to make it too small, because if you make it too small, what's going to happen is just going to keep playing over and over again, and maybe that's not what you want either. Alright, so we're almost there. I think I just put it at 45. I think that would work good. Okay, so now I want to bring the sound down. So we can adjust the sound with these little bars right here. I'm going to bring my sound down a little bit so it doesn't sound quite so loud. These little bars right here will adjust it. It's actually very loud, so I'm going to really bring it down. See if we can get this down. We can possibly get it. And hit OK. So let's just see how this sounds now. You can even work on it even more if you decide you want it even lower. You can work on that even more. I might even put it down lower. I don't want it too high. I just want enough that it creates a sense of interest, but you don't want it so high that it just takes away from the sounds of the animals. Okay, so I think I am done. I really like what I have, and I'm going to file and save my project.